Good morning, children. This is lecture 7 of chapter electrochemistry. In this lecture, we will study about the prevention of corrosion. This is the first method to prevent corrosion in a metal. That's the simplest way, that is barrier protection. You all know about it also. Barrier protection is the simplest technique for preventing the corrosion, especially for iron. What we are doing? We are just putting a barrier in between the iron metal and the atmosphere, that is air and water. We are just disconnecting the contact between the iron metal and the atmosphere, that is air or water, okay, by putting a barrier. That is why it is known as barrier protection. So following are the various barrier protection technique. The first one is coating the metal surface with paints. You all know about it. A thin coating of paint, lacquer, enamel is applied on the surface, metallic surface, to prevent from being corroded. The second one is coating the metal surface with oil or grease. That also you know. Metal surface is coated with oil or grease to act as barrier between the metal surface and the atmosphere. Third technique for barrier protection, by coating the metal with non-corroding metal. A thin film of non-corroding metal such as nickel or chromium on the metal surface deposited through electroplating. Okay, and that is serves as a barrier protection barrier, and it saves the metal from being corroded. And the fourth one, by coating the metal with certain chemicals. Corrosion may be protected by coating the metal surface with the coating of an adherent non-reactive insoluble chemical such as Fe3PO4. Okay, all these techniques are used to protect the metal, that is iron mostly, from being corroded, and that is known as barrier protection. Second method is sacrificial protection. This process involves protection of metallic surface by coating with another metal of higher reactivity, that means more electropositive metal. So what is happening in the resulting galvanic cell, the more electropositive metal becomes anode and gets corroded, and the host metal remains protected. So the first is galvanization of iron is coming under sacrificial protection. You all know that galvanization means putting a coating of thin layer of zinc over iron. Okay, that is galvanization. So galvanization of iron is a sacrificial technique where iron surface is coated with a thin layer of zinc. And you can understand that zinc is more electropositive than iron. So if you are putting a coating above above iron, then what will happen? Zinc will get corroded. Zinc is a reactive metal, so that will react fast. Okay, that will get corroded and protecting the iron surface as it is. So galvanization may be done through, the first is dipping, where iron surface is dipped into molten zinc and passed through a roller. A thin layer of zinc is set on the surface. Okay, or another method is chirurdizing. It means the vapor of zinc are allowed to condense on the iron surface, thereby obtaining a thin layer of zinc over iron surface. Okay, so that zinc is sacrificing. That is why it is known as sacrificial protection. Sacrificial protection is applicable also when there is a crack in the galvanized surface. See the figure, you can understand this is the galvanized iron. Zinc coating protects iron even when coating develops a crack. What is happening? When there is a crack in the galvanized coating on the iron surface, the surface still remains protected even though the iron surface is exposed to the environment. Why it is so? Because you know that inert cell, that is zinc Zn2 plus Zn, that is reduction potential of zinc is minus 0.76, and inert Fe2 plus Fe, that is the reduction potential, is minus 0.434. This shows that zinc has a greater tendency to undergo oxidation in comparison to iron. In case of a crack, what is happening? Zinc layer acts as anode. As it is acting as an anode, it undergoes oxidation in preference to iron, and here iron is acting as a cathode. Okay, so electrons will flow from zinc, and zinc mass is lost. Okay, it is, see, this is the reaction. Zn is giving you Zn2 plus and plus 2E minus. Am I clear? So zinc is acting here as an anode and it will undergo oxidation. Iron will act here as a cathode. Electron will flow from zinc and zinc mass is lost in the form of Zn2 plus and the iron surface remains protected. Am I clear? So iron may also be protected by a coating of tin. Here it is given under sacrificial protection, but it is not actually a sacrificial protection. Rather, you can call it as a barrier protection only. Okay. See, iron may also be protected by tin coating, though the mechanism is different as that of zinc. Okay. See, E naught Fe2 plus Fe is minus 0.44 and E naught Sn2 plus Sn, that is tin, is minus 0.14. So from these values you can understand that Fe is more electropositive than tin. Okay. Thus, till the tin coating on iron is intact, there will be no corrosion. Why? Because this coating will act as a simple barrier protection. So I told you now, you can call it as barrier protection only. However, once there is a crack, then what will happen? Iron surface is exposed to the environment. And as iron is more electropositive, so iron will start acting like anode. Okay, because it's electropositive, it's more electropositive than tin, and it starts corroding because of material loss. So as I told you, better you call it as a barrier protection. Now see children, in case of an iron, if you are coating that iron with tin, then if there is a crack, then tin is not helping to protect the iron because iron is more electropositive than tin. Then it is acting simply as a barrier protection in case of an iron. Okay, but suppose the element is copper, and if you are putting a coating of tin over copper, then tin can act as a sacrificial protection. It can give a sacrificial protection because the E naught SN2 plus SN is minus 0.14 and E naught Cu2 plus Cu is plus 0.34. So you can understand that here SN2 plus SN, that means tin, is more electropositive than copper. So it is evident that tin is more electropositive than copper, as I told you. Thus, a tin coating on copper surface will protect the copper surface in the same manner as zinc protects the iron surface. Okay, in that case, what will happen? Tin will act as an anode if there is a crack. Okay, and copper will act as a cathode. And it can protect copper. That is why it has been given in sacrificial protection. Am I clear, children? Another method is cathodic protection. In this, what is happening? A more reactive electropositive metal is connected to the metal to be protected. Okay. So in this manner, what is happening? The metal to be protected becoming a cathode and the more electropositive metal become anode. And that more reactive electropositive metal sacrificed due to oxidation and less electropositive metal remains protected. This method is usually used in the protection of underground iron pipes. So you have understood what we are doing? More reactive electropositive metal is protecting the less electropositive metal. Okay. So what is happening? Just see the figure here. A piece of zinc or magnesium is buried underground beside the iron pipe or tank to be protected. Okay. And connected through a wire. Thus, iron is forcibly made as a cathode because iron is less electropositive, okay, than zinc and magnesium. So, iron is forcibly made a cathode and the corrosion, if any, occurs at the zinc or magnesium plate and the iron surface remains protected. Magnesium Mg2 plus 2E, that is the anodic reaction, and then O2 plus H2O plus 4E minus is giving you 4OH minus. This reaction is taking place at cathode. And like this is protecting the iron surface. Okay, by making the iron as cathode. This is known as cathodic protection. Protection by anti-rust solution. Corrosion may be prevented by coating the surface with some anti-rust solution that acts like a simple barrier. These are essentially alkaline phosphate and chromate materials that prevent approach of H plus ion necessary for corrosion. Okay. Further, phosphates deposit an insoluble film of iron phosphate on the iron surface that prevents rusting. Am I clear? Anti-rust solution and then just put it is a coating only, it is acting like a simple barrier. And these are essentially alkaline phosphate and chromate material. Okay, that is preventing approach of H plus ion, which is necessary for corrosion. So anti-rust solutions are used to prevent rusting in automobiles, engine parts and car radiators. Okay. This is the end of lecture 7. This is a very short video. In the next lecture, we shall discuss about Kulrosh law.